What's up, everybody? This is getting to be a little bit of a series with Hunter Marckwardt. Maybe we should even start calling it Sunday Thoughts because it just seems like those are most of the interviews we do now. Hunter, as you write something brilliant on your Sunday Thoughts, and I'm like, ooh, this is a good one to talk about. You mind if we jump on Zoom and bring this into our community?
Yeah, I've never said no.
You've never said no, not yet. Hopefully we keep it that way. So
Yeah.
for anyone that's wondering what a Sunday thought is, I'm going to share it on my screen. Hunter's been doing these for a long time. Like look at that. Since May of 2014, Hunter has been doing these. We used to get people always going, hey, I want to get on the list. Well, now, guys, you want to get on the list, go to sundaythoughts.com and sign up. Today, we're going to talk about this. It was published on October 8th. That was just after I had seen Hunter at the cross-country annual sales rally in Nashville. And Hunter, well, first of all, before you share your Sunday thought, I do want to get a little pulse check on house production. How are you doing? I mean, it's October 31st, last day of October. How are you guys performing?
It's rough, but we're performing, so we're clipping away. I think this month we'll finish the month at 9.5 million, which, quite frankly, I'll take right now. I think we're on pace for right around 100 million. It's you feel like you've been punched in the face every step of the way, but goes back to it's my fault. I mean, it's rough out there, but I mean, you got a choice, you got a choice. So we're hanging in there and feeling pretty good. I mean, it's rough, but I mean, we're feeling pretty damn good.
Well, Hunter, I mean, you should feel pretty damn good. I mean, those are just, I don't think I need to ask everybody, how would you like to be producing, on track for 100 million this year, closing 9 million this month in October. There's still loan officers closing loans. There's still over 7,000 loan officers closing over 100 loans this year. And that's data from MMI. But why don't you kind of tee up why you wrote this Sunday thought, like on that date, what was going through your head, and then just put words to that. You don't necessarily need to read it out loud, but let's deliver that message to everyone who's watching right now.
Yeah, so I mean, it came from, we had Jocko speak at our event. I've never seen him in person. I've read his books, and I mean, he's impossible not to be impressed. And I mean, he's inspiring, right? Just his story, and he calls it extreme ownership. And to me, my old coach, Rick Ruby, and I think it's funny. I'm reading a book right now, and I read. It's funny when you think you might have an original thought. I'm not saying that Rick said that was his original thought, but I thought it was Rick's original thought. And I just read it somewhere else in another book with just the concept of it's my fault, right? And it sounds like such a negative thing, and it's not. It's just like, if you can control what's in if you choose to control what's in your control, there's a serious piece that goes along with acknowledging that everything's your fault, for better and for worse, right? I mean, I put it in the letter. It's like, if I'm down on revenue and I'm not, if I'm not bringing in leads and I got to lay someone off, it's my fault. It's just a fact, right? It's not personal, but it's my fault. And then, it referenced something else with one of my team members getting hurt, and another one of my team members just going out and saying, we're going to go out and buy Tina this stand-up desk because she's hurt and we want to take care of her. And Michelle didn't ask me for permission. She just sent everyone a bill, basically, and we did it. And I'm like, that's my fault too, for building a great culture with people that feel comfortable doing that inside of our team. So it's not all negative. It's just a recognition that, how we show up every day, better and worse, is our fault.
Yeah. And it also just kind of reminds me of Jocko's video that's, viral, good. Oh,
yeah.
Rates just went above 8%. Good.
Right.
Oh, there's a inventory crisis. Good. affordability has never been more challenging and difficult in any real estate market. Good, because some good can come of that. Yeah. And by the way, anybody watching this, put this on pause right now. Google "Good" by Jocko Willink. Even if you've seen it 10 times, watch it again right now. I actually can't play it because Google will kill our algorithms, but check it out and we'll put a link down below to that video.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So I want you to put on a hat. That hat is your coach and a leader to everyone in Mortgage Coach Trust Engine Land. We've got over 35,000 loan officers that use our platform on a day-to-day basis. Just you're their manager and you're their coach. So, I think everybody gets the concept at a high level. Obviously, read Hunter's post. It'll take you about 3 minutes, maybe even 2 minutes for you speed readers. Give us like a 5-minute how to take action on this. Like what should they do given this mindset to put it into action?
I think, the concept for me right now is we all have to be better than we've ever been. And I think, that has to do with not just hoping, not just winging it. I think you have to be, I wish people could have heard the call that I was just on. I was talking to, one guy was a venture capital guy. His spouse was in some high tech company, and they said, "Hunter, why would we use you?" And I said, flat out, I'm like, look, our belief is you as a buyer need to believe you have a better chance of home ownership, or you shouldn't work with us. The person that referred you has to believe they're going to be more successful, or they shouldn't use us. And anyone that works on our team has to believe they're going to have a better life, or they shouldn't work on our team. Those three things and how we operate has everything to do with why you would use us. And that has to, and then I went into literally talking about, our conversation right now. I'm going to take a step back, Dave, because the point of your question is your sales process has to be better than it's ever been. And for us, that looks like these massively impactful upfront conversations that I have, right? It's understanding what someone's trying to accomplish. What are their concerns? What are these guys were pre-approved with First Republic 9 months ago. We talked about the whole idea of big banks and going after deposits, and establish some credibility with them with just understanding what I'm talking about. Walk them through, the number one frustration for buyers is not understanding the details. That's why we're going to make sure that you understand every dollar around cash to close and what your payments are going to look like. That looks like a live conversation with myself or my business partner, Erica, that walks you through every single number, which is, of course, a mortgage coach. And that's not just, I'm not just saying that because it's you here, but that's what we do. Going through the fully underwritten process, helping them understand a seller's concept of what a seller's looking at when they're looking at offers. They don't care about interest rate perspective necessarily. They care about execution. So all these things. So a long-winded way, Dave, I would just say, you know what your sales process is and follow it. And it has to be, you have to be thinking uncommoditize yourself. And it has to be personal communication up front. It has to be massive details along the way. And then it has to be, what is the process until they get into contract, which is customized mortgage coach, every single offer that gets submitted so that they understand the payments, they understand the cash to close, and it just builds rapport. So that's what I would say everyone has to do right now. If you're winging it, if you're just emailing people numbers, it's not going to work.
And here's how I'd like to frame that to anyone that's watched this, or for every manager that's watched this, and maybe this is a little ammo for every manager. For every loan officer that's not achieving their personal goals, like there's a gap. Does it, like, everybody's personal goal is not a personal best right now. Like, this is not going to be Hunter's personal best year, but he's 100 million this year is a solid win. He's achieving his goal. So for every loan officer that's not, and every manager who has someone who's not, it's their fault if they're not just delivering an exceptional advice-based experience. If they're not using Mortgage Coach, it's their fault. So I think we established one critical component to winning in this market. And if you're not winning and you're not using Mortgage Coach, it's your fault. I'd love to get your take on another critical goal, which is just prospecting. Kind of like speak to the, what are the standards from a prospecting standpoint, so someone can just kind of like get their head around, if you're not using Mortgage Coach, it's your fault. If you're not doing X and Y from a prospecting basis, it's your fault. What's that X and Y from your standpoint?
What's talking on I mean, for me, I'm not going to act like I'm out on the streets, like cold calling right now, right? I mean, I've got my existing relationships and I've got a lot of them. So it's understanding what, we need to know where everybody's at with their business. If you're a manager, honestly, even as a lender, it's like, I'm trying to understand who's going to survive this market, who's going to be on the right side of this market, who's got positive energy. I mean, for realtors, I'm doing customized videos for each one of them on and I know this is just on repeat mode, but the 2-1 buy down calculators, and how I sent out a video last week about it's shifting now. I have my listing agents reaching out to me saying, can you give me a calculator to understand what type of a credit my seller would have to offer to motivate a buyer? Right. So all of a sudden it shifted from the buyers to, the buyers and the buyers agents getting these numbers to listing agents getting these numbers. And anything that we can do to make things easy for our business partners is what I'm trying to do right now. So, and that right now, Dave, the market, 2.5, 3 months ago, we had a killer cross-collateralized bridge loan product that was freaking awesome and it was interesting. Right now, it's not as attractive. Right now, it's about you have to know what's interesting to a buyer and a seller at any given point in time. Right now, for me, that's 2-1 buy down individual videos to listing agents.
So there's your prospecting goal, guys. If you're not hitting your goals and you're not getting into solution-based conversations, leveraging buy downs, where you're taking a specific property and you're creating an actual 2-1 buy down with Mortgage Coach, and you're not delivering that to your realtors and you're not hitting your goals, it's your fault. I think it's really that simple. What about for all the brand new, either new loan officers? I mean, there's still new LOs getting in the market and they don't have a lot of relationships, or there's just people that never have been a big producer, what is the minimum amount of calling, prospecting they should do, or it's their fault?
So it's all you can. I mean, you don't have loans right now, right? I mean, so I think you have to be, it's a hard thing to, I mean, we can talk about it, but I get that it's hard. Someone that's brand new right now, I think you have to be out. You got to be out on the streets. You've got to be out in every open house. You got to be out on brokers tour. You got to know what your sales pitch is against someone like me that's been around in the business forever, that doesn't want to go into an open house on a Saturday or Sunday, might not want to take a call on a Saturday or Sunday. So, I mean, I think you got to know how to sell against you got to know how to sell against a more tenured person, and you got to out hustle. You got to out hustle your competition. That's what I would say to a new person right now, or you can't survive. Right.
Yeah. And I would say, this script, I'll put a link down below to my new loan officer playbook. But if you haven't gone through every renter, and called up every renter, and said, hey, I need your help. I got to really master how to have the rep versus own conversation. Will you let me practice on you? And I would imagine that most new loan officers in the business have 20, 50, maybe more renters, where get good. And here's what's going to happen. You're going to get good at giving advice, having that rep versus own conversation, and you're going to get some deals, and you're going to get some leads that you can bring to realtors. So if you're not winning and you're not doing that, it's your fault. And then call up every person that owns a home and go, hey, I'm new. Or, hey, I need to build a new skill. If you're not new, but you need to build a new skill for this market, call the people that know you, love you, like you, care about your well-being. Say, I need your help. I need to practice this thing, this move up analysis thing. You mind if I practice it on you? And do that 50 times. So hopefully, go ahead.
Well, I was just thinking, one of my loan officers, I had a realtor that hadn't used me, who asked if I would want to work in open house with her on Saturday and Sunday. And quite frankly, I was out of town, but I don't want to. And I said, I can't, but I have someone on my team that can. And I'm not looking, as a branch, I'm not looking for that relationship. And I followed up with her, not realizing actually that he had been in the open house. And she said he was unbelievable, and she's looking forward to sending him business. So, I mean, I think there are opportunities that exist that you don't recognize, I mean, and so for him, doing those simple things. I mean, just anything you can do to be useful to someone else, is going to help you. So.
All right. Well, let's close out with, if you have not read Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink, it's time to do it. The audiobook is incredibly amazing. Yeah. You've got Leaf, Jocko's co-author, and Jocko, they tell a war story, and they each kind of take turns, which one's going to tell the war story, which one's going to apply it to business. But they just go back and forth, telling super compelling, that are interesting, edutaining, and super useful stories that help you achieve extreme ownership. So if you haven't read that book, read it. If you have read that book, this is a season to read that book, listen to that book. Any closing thoughts you have, Hunter?
Well, I just have to agree with you. Like, I don't like to listen to every book out there. That's a book that you can absolutely listen to. All these things sound like cliches but it's like, I get down in the dumps myself. I mean, it can happen more times than not. And like, coming out of that conference where I saw him speak and talking to people like you and listening to books like that, it's so easy in this kind of an environment to just get in a rut. And the only way you're going to get out of a rut is to surround yourself with stuff like that, listening to stuff like this, I guess. But I mean, there's light at the end of the tunnel. I just think we got to, as an industry, we got to breathe, we got to be real, but we got to breathe hope into people too, because there's going to be a certain amount of people that are left here to thrive. So just, hang in there.
Yeah, no doubt about that. So let's close out with, go to Sunday Thoughts, Hunter Sunday Thoughts, sundaythoughts.com, sign up for this, follow Hunter on LinkedIn, little button right there. 3 down is what we talked about. Although if you're watching this several weeks from now, Hunter posts this almost every Sunday. Go check this out, sign up. And Hunter, dude, appreciate you, my man.
You too, brother. Thanks, Dave.
Hope everybody got value from this. Take care, y'all.